Hello, everybody. This is Creto, and I'm here for another interesting topic. And this one is on cops and robbers. Remember that growing up? Playing make-believe, cops and robber, who's going to be the robber, who's going to be the cop? Yeah, I remember, as a kid, I remember hearing that, but I never played the game, though. It's interesting that the thing that we play make-believe, whatever, or attach it to our identity, those very things are the ones that's holding us back. It's interesting, I don't know about kids playing cops and robbers today, probably do. But these days, you got a lot more video games and, other stuff and different games on the internet. But as far as that, I just wanted to mention that, start off with that. Cops and robbers. I'm going to go into depth about these particular ideas that impacted us for a very, very long time. I'm going to start off with the idea of robbers, or the bad guys we all want to talk about, I'm going to break it down very simple, okay? I'm not a psychiatrist, nor do I have a degree in human behavior, nor do I need one. It's quite simple when you break things down into why people do certain things in a certain way. You ever watch all these movies of all the villains, right? And you always go back to the source, why they do all these devious things and everything. And one of the things that I realized is that the reason why people do these things or ain't something that's destructive or something that's quote-unquote evil is because they felt neglected. They felt a lack of love. And because of those things, I'm going to use this as an example now. Because of that, they go about, committing different criminal activities. And, it's like, wow, it's like I used to watch so many of these. I'm not going to give names of different movies or villains, but I'm just going to talk about the makeup, what creates villains. And that's how we see things outside of TV. People do things like rob a bank or, murder somebody. But when you look at the characteristics of these villains again, it's like, I used to say to myself, man, if this person, before that person became or latch on the identity of a villain, if only this person acknowledged his or her worthiness or letting go of certain things, that person could easily shift out of the identity as a villain. It's like, and then I see things further that through and through, these people are not really villains. You got the most darkest or heinous characters that we all crave for when you watch movies, but these characters, if you look at it, they're like anybody else. It's just that these villains, on TV that we see, they just make a decision because they don't know who they are. Now, I'm not going to talk about movies so much, but I'm just giving you the breakdown that basically what gets people to do certain things, especially as, criminals. Now, I just want you to basically think about what I said about the movies, the villains in the movies, right? Now, outside of TV, okay, you have people do different things. You got someone rob somebody. You got somebody, for example, you got people committing murder and stuff like that. And I'm going to, like I said, very similar to the movies, version of a villain. You see, it all goes down to like this. If you're going to cling on to this idea that you have to do certain things, right? Or you have a mentality that I have to get mine, or I have to I got to seek vengeance because somebody did this to me, okay? When you're clinging on to this identity, what you're doing is that you are creating a life that you set out. Now, whether if you really want to be labeled as a criminal, that is your choice. But all I'm going to say is that on this is that when you decide to do certain things, again, it's about how you feel about yourself. Okay? If you look at yourself as low and you see yourself as a victim, people that have a tendency of thinking themselves as a victim have a good possibility of doing different things. Holding on to things, grudges, want to have the temptation, want to attack somebody, different things. I do know that hurt people. What I mean is that you got one person hurt one person, and then that person that's holding on to something is going to basically want to hurt somebody, even though the next person has nothing to do with the situation that what the other person been through. And let me explain it again. I hurt you, okay? And let's say you're not able to do anything to me, okay? But then you hold on to this grudge for so long. And then it's an energy that you're holding on to, a very negative energy. You're holding on to that, and then basically you're feeling like, let's say the next opportunity comes by. I need to put this frustration on somebody. You got to dump this energy. So you're going to most likely you're going to try to hurt somebody. Depends on you. Depends on the level. You may want to hurt the next person on a small scale or on a large scale. So the thing is, it all goes down to a domino effect. Okay? When you hold on to things, regardless of what you've been through, when you hold on to something and you create the story of yourself that, I got a hard life, life ain't easy, I gotta do this, and I'm angry, and I gotta lash out on somebody, or whatever you have planned, or whatever you've been through in your life. Understand that the very thought that you hold in you, the very thought that you hold, it's an energy. I'm going to emphasize this a lot through the clip because this is very important. A lot of us, we don't think of those things. We don't think that energy that's in us that plays a significant role of what you do. When you hold on to negative energy, no matter who you are, no matter what you've been through, it doesn't matter. When you hold on to this energy, you're going to pass it on to the next person. Not only that, you're going to create like an affliction, or let's say, basically you're creating your own hell within yourself. You're not happy, you're just basically straight out miserable. So you create this energy that's in you, and that's it. It basically creates a life that represents this particular energy. Now, I know I'm talking a lot about this. You see, because these things represent energy, you see, one of the things that a lot of us, we don't really think about often, or naturally, let's say, is that when you hold on to certain things, things could change. You feel one day you feel happy, right? And then you feel upset, or you feel sad for some reason. Sometimes you don't know why, but you do. It's an energy. I want to inspire you to use, you see, you are power. Besides, I'm not going to just say that, but you know what? Beneath all the negativity that is in your life and all these belief systems that you hold on to and that you commit a criminal act, let's say you go further to that, beneath all those things, those layers of limitations that we hold on as identity for us, beneath that, you are pure. You are pure. It doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter if you killed somebody. So that nobody really dies, but for the sake of this clip, I'm going to say, let's say you killed somebody. Nobody, it's just that from that, or let's just say you physically abused somebody. Or let's say you shot somebody. Okay? Or let's say you basically you're labeled as a child molester. You've done something to a child. Okay? What else? Serial killers. You got all those kind of labels. All that. Let's say you robbed something. Let's say you're labeled as a white criminal act. They call it white collar criminal. You got that. You got all kinds of things that label us, and we think that because of those actions that we've done, you think that's who you are. My friends, when you decide to leave your human experience, some of you want to call it death, but I'm going to say, when you depart from your experience on earth, whether you decide to come back or whether you decide to be in another form, whatever. You see, let's say you label as, or you have some judgment that you are, whatever, a cold-blooded killer. When you part ways from this world, wherever you go, okay, all that stuff that you've done, it just literally melts away. Those things that you've done, those criminal activities you've done, the most evilest things you've ever done to somebody and to yourself, all those things will have no significant power over you, especially when you leave or decide to leave this human experience, the body that you're in. Life will continue regardless. It will. You will continue your life. Your soul never ends. I'm just simply explaining. I'm going to give a little piece about people talk about life after death. Okay? And I saw that maybe a year ago. And you know what? A lot of people have the testimony, and I've seen patterns of that. People, regardless who they are, they felt love, a spirit, or whatever identity, some entity that approached them, or the experience that they have. They felt love. It doesn't matter what you've done. When I saw that, it reminiscent of my other life before I came to Earth, about love, about you're being basically loved because you are loved. So all the stuff that we create these identities, and through the idea of law and order and all these regulations and all these things that you have this judgment, I'm like, Folks, there's things in this universe and beyond that's much larger. There is like no comparison to the most evilest whatever thing that you've done. Life is too infinite. I'm not trying to sound insensitive to those that lost somebody due to somebody committed a criminal act. And for those, speaking about that, for those that listen to this clip and lost a loved one because of somebody, I'm going to tell you, and it's going to be a little harsh because of your own ego mind, get over it. Life never ends. You lost somebody, you lost your daughter, you lost your son because, for example, somebody drunk driver, and you're angry, you want justice. Get over it. Your son, your daughter is alive and well, in a different form, or maybe formless. They're not holding on to this idea of, yeah, you gotta please get them like these movies. You ever watch these movies? Somebody got murdered, right? And you got somebody that got murdered as a ghost. They want their loved one to seek justice for them. People, I'm gonna be honest with you, that is a complete nonsense. That is solely created that is basically from the ego mind. Really? You see, the ego doesn't understand how infinite life is. So let's say somebody's done something to you, and you're a spirit. I mean, the love that you experience, the level of the intensity of love, honestly, the idea of justice or seek vengeance for me, please. That way I could rest in peace. That is irrelevant. You're basically not going to even think about it because the love is so intense. All the feelings of anger and sadness and this idea of justice means absolutely nothing. So folks, please, do yourself a favor, get over it. Okay? I did cover as much as I can about the idea of criminal. I want to touch on a little bit more further that when you decide to do certain things, you see, you are power to shift your energy, your focus into something else. It's this thing about the criminal insane. You got people that went to school for years try to understand a criminal mind. I'm like, really? To understand a criminal mind? You see, you might call me cocky or whatever. You might laugh. I don't care. I don't need to go to a school to understand a criminal mind. I'm just going to break things down into the simplest forms. When you decide to cling on to the identity of, I am going to kill somebody, or I'm going to seek vengeance, you are literally creating a life that you basically set out. It's an energy. You're holding on to a low energy that's not going to benefit you. You really, I know really you don't want to live a life of rage and vengeance because, you create vengeance. Let's say you accomplish what you've done and you got vengeance. Are you happy? Are you peace? Are you at peace with yourself? You're not. You all know this. At least some of the movies get it right. Somebody done something, they're not happy. Really, you're not happy. It's a momentarily feeling of a feel-good feeling, but it's not. going to basically uplift you in the long run. It's just gonna, you're basically ripping yourself down. So anybody, no matter who you are, no matter what your background is, anybody, the most person, you know, again, you could be the baddest individual in this world. You could be, you know, I said in my clip that I created, the dawn of the new paradigm, I said on that clip that Hitler, the most evilest person that everyone labeled him as, beneath his limitation belief that he held on to, he is pure. So I'm just coming up with example of the most ruthless, evilest person that people have been labeled as through some action. So anybody, there is not one single person in this world don't have the ability to shift their energy, their focus in the opposite. And I'm saying all that can be done. Very simple. When you create the life that you want, when you get out of this victim mentality, no matter if you've been the victor or whether you want to seek vengeance or whatever it is, whenever you focus out of that, your life will change before your eyes. But because of our own egotistic mind, it doesn't feel that way. Your own mind doesn't feel that way, and you're saying, how's that? No. You don't want to let go. You want to hold on. You want to hold on to this rageful thought because you're thinking that it's something that you need to do. But that's not who you really are. And I'm just here to say that to everybody that's listening to this. You are pure. Plain and simple. I don't care who you are. I don't care what the judge of a Supreme Court tells you. I don't care what the juries say or the prosecutors say. You are pure. Remember, life is infinite. Life is much larger in consciousness. Life is much larger than these ideas, these limited paradigms that we create in our lives. And I want to inspire you to understand this, to understand within yourself spiritually the inner working of life. You know, you can change. If you've done something and you're feeling guilty about it and you can't get over it, my friend, do yourself a favor, get over it, love yourself. Love yourself. I'm saying that first. Love yourself first. Then forgive others. I know the religion belief suggests that you have to forgive others first and put yourself in the backseat. No. Because you see, religion, faith, they got this twisted up. And you always wonder why people are struggling to forgive. Because you're not taking yourself first. Love yourself first. You have to, I'm saying this because you're getting up each and every day. You're dealing with you, moment to moment. You look at yourself in the mirror. It's you. Love yourself first. Then you love others and you forgive others. Forgive yourself first. Love yourself first. All those things that I'm sharing to you, my friends, you don't, I mean, if you don't have to, but you don't need to go to a psychiatrist or the mentally insane for somebody with a nice fancy degree to tell you things through a textbook. I'm saying these things because, you see, I suffered depression for over 20 years. Why did I suffered depression for over 20 years because, you see, in the beginning of my Earth experience, one of the things that I experienced is child abuse. I held on. I had dark thoughts in me. I wanted to destroy somebody, even though you can never destroy anybody, but I wanted to do something to somebody that I've been through this child abuse. I've been through years of therapy, psychiatrist. I took the antidepressant pills. Didn't really do anything much, except it kept me going to see the psychiatrist and therapist every day, and psychiatrist once a month. It's a business for them. But I want to say, if you feel that you need to go to see a therapist or a psychiatrist, do so. It's solely up to you. I'm saying all these things because I can relate to some of the people. I may be a reincarnated being from another dimension. At the same time, because I chose this experience, I can relate to a lot of people. I could have done a lot of things. I could have. I wanted to end my life many times, even though back then I didn't understand that even if I did end my life, I didn't understand that life could never end. But anyway, I had thoughts of, I wanted to commit suicide many, many times. I held on. I didn't let go. I didn't love myself. So you see, my friends, when you hold on to all this feeling, these low energy feelings, you're not doing yourself any good. It doesn't matter what happens to you. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you did something to somebody else. It doesn't matter. Do you want to know why? What got me to basically drop the whole depression idea, this identity of being a depressed person? How I let go of that is because of the power of I am. The power of I am. When I understood this, and I reconnect to consciousness, and when I understood of who I am, the idea of depression have no significant power over me. That's it. That was it. The end. I don't need to see a psychiatrist no more. I don't need to see a therapist. I don't need to take these antidepressant pills no more. I want to also move on to this part quickly, that for those that have, and this is under the whole idea of a criminal, you've taken some illegal drugs, right? But then those drugs that you're taking is basically messing you up. It's creating an addiction that you're not able to control yourself. And you're smoking cigarettes, whether it doesn't matter, but you're smoking something, but it's an addiction that you're not able to control yourself. You're drinking alcohol. You looked at yourself as a raging, a raging alcoholic. You drink, and you drink, and you don't know why. Maybe some of you do know why. You don't care. Those are another layer of a limited belief system that you hold on to. You smoke crack, right? You look at yourself, you see that it's deforming you, your teeth, your fingers, everything. You're basically holding on to a low energy, connecting yourself with an extension of a low energy, which is a crack valve. I never did drugs, those type of drugs that mess you up. I never did. But I know, I've seen people, I used to know somebody personally that had a drug addiction and alcohol addiction. So I know, I've seen that. I've seen how it messed people up. Those things, okay, that's just an extent. Those things represent an extension of a low energy. You already feel low of yourself, so you're going to plug yourself into something of an extension of something that's low. So you got the perfect marriage. You're not feeling good about yourself, but then you're going to do something that's basically going to mess yourself up further. I'm going to inspire people, for those that maybe don't know what this is. If you having a problem of trying to kick the habit, or like try to control your alcohol habits, like can't, like it's an uncontrollable habit, or you're doing some drug that's messing you up. One of the things that I'm going to inspire people, and please research this. I want to inspire you to think ayahuasca. Think ayahuasca. Please research it. I've done the research, and I have my own experience with it, but I've watched a lot of clips and testimony that people that taken ayahuasca, and those people have like drug problems, like cigarette problem, they can't stop smoking. Those people, I think it's a 98%. The 98%, those people literally drop the habit. That's it. You don't need to go to a drug rehab for like 30 days. You don't need to do that. If you want to, that is solely up to you people. Ayahuasca, it's a natural substance that's made on Earth. It's a tool for us. It's a tool. It's a connection. Just like I was telling you about the connection with the alcohol and drugs. When you use these certain things and you feel low of yourself and you connect yourself with an extension that represents low energy, okay? Ayahuasca is an extension. Ayahuasca, and I'm not going to tell you more in detail what it is. I want you to research it yourself. But I'm going to give you my personal feelings about it. Ayahuasca is a tool for you. It's an extension. Okay? Ayahuasca will show you. It will show you the inner workings of the universe. It's just one of the tools. I'm not saying it's the only tool. It is one of the tools. Ayahuasca will show you things like it will take you down into the rabbit hole. Well, you pretty much understand what I'm talking about. For those that have taken ayahuasca, you understand what I'm talking about. It will show you things. Now, you have government from different part of the world tries to stop this. It's kind of like this. Government is a paradigm. It's a paradigm based on control and fear. I look at the government that we created as like an Agent Smith from the Matrix. Anything that I'm going to tell you flat out, any idea that tries to stop you for you connecting to the truth and every inner working of the universe, and to show you who you really are, you really have to check that. The idea of government is afraid it will bring out its own nonsense that why is not good, why they put some law. And I won't go too much in depth with government, okay? I haven't touched on the idea of cops yet. But government they thinking that by creating